All right. Dirty Sports, episode 894, I believe, or maybe 895. I forget. Anyway, we are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from California. I'm not even sure where he's at. Joey, no chill Praino.
Palm Springs, the Palm Springs, Palm Desert area, Rancho Mirage, I believe, technically. Here I am, Andy. Good morning.
What kind of weather we got there right now?
Pretty, it's warm. It's warm-ish outside compared to, I'm sure compared to where you are, but even compared to LA, I think we're in, mid to low 60s right now. But yesterday went for a hike and it was, I ended up shedding my long sleeve top. I was in short sleeves. It's warm when you're in the sun for sure. Getting up to, I believe it's supposed to get up to 80s ish this weekend, but it's the desert. Cold last night.
We're about to hit some like wild weather here where the temperatures can drop 30 degrees over a couple hours tonight.
And that will take you down to what kind of temperatures?
I think it's supposed to get in the negatives.
And is it supposed to snow?
Well, it's been raining, so they're like everything's wet. That's gonna all freeze. It's supposed to like have light snow with the mixture of that, like it's like I would argue that's like the worst weather. The like rain freeze. So I'm hunkering down.
Yeah. That's the disaster weather.
Oh, disaster weather. I made the mistake of having to pick up something at Kroger. It was pandemic lines. Remember the pandemic? I had flashbacks to Costco in California. Like that's how the lines work. Because everybody's just like, it's almost Christmas and there's gonna be crazy weather. Like the line, you couldn't even see to self-checkout, if that makes sense. The line went so far deep in the store.
I'm at the point now where I'm just like out of the question. I'm just exclusively deliver to my house guy.
Yeah.
Like, send me groceries, my Christmas shopping all done online. I said, Amazon delivers it to your house and doesn't pay its workers at all. So Jeff Bezos is basically Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like everything can be delivered.
Yeah.
We're so lazy. Like we don't have to do anything. And that's why I kind of like going to the grocery store, because it's kind of like, okay, get me out.
Get me out.
But I'm nuts. I went to Costco yesterday. Like who does these things on Christmas week? Only lunatics like me.
Yeah, it's somebody who really like wants to put themselves in the situation of being in lines. Wants to, you're basically going consciously or subconsciously. You're like, I want to run in with a Karen today. I want somebody to step to me.
No. By the way, you've been cutting in and out a little. I know you said we might have some issues.
Great.
So you've been cutting in and out to start the show.
Well, if it gets really bad, let me know. I might have to move locations here.
Okay. Cool. Well, we got a nice little show. We got week 16 now. You keep inching closer. I'm getting a little nervous on the NFL picks. I'm only up 3 now with 3 weeks to go. We had some. Did something happen in baseball this week? Did anything happen?
Yeah, it's been a wild week in it's been a wild week in baseball. There's the free agency is still not over, and I'm gonna pull it up right now because it's pretty big.
I was obviously making a joke. You're not even just tackling what I said. Did something happen?
I've got it here. I want to make sure we have all the specifics. Infielder Danny Mendick and the New York Mets are in agreement on a 1-year, $1 million contract. Sources
Danny Mendick.
Yes, Mendick, not Lady Dick. not Menpuss. Danny Mendick.
Is that Mendick?
That's right.
Wow, that's a great name.
So
Mendick.
huge week for the Mets. Danny Mendick has signed for a 1-year, $1 million deal.
Well, that's big news. I think I might have seen a few other signings this week for you guys, and I know you had tweeted that. I can't believe Ruther put this on the rundown, and I was like, "Well, you're going to talk about it anyway." So,
well, I know. I mean, obviously, I was going to talk about it anyway, and I've been pushing through the Andy Ruther crossing guard, NFL crossing guard stop signs for the last 17 weeks, and demanding that there's in fact other sports news besides the NFL. When we do the show together, you're like, "Did you hear this NFL player had a baby? This NFL player got arrested." I'm like, the New York Mets have signed Carlos Correa for 12 years. I just want to make sure. I was just trying to see, is it actually on the rundown, or is it my responsibility to bring it up? And there it was.
Hey, look, I'm hip to it. I follow enough. So you guys signed Correa. You're doing all these signings. He was supposed to go to the Giants. So you said we should bring on Andy Lazarus, your Dirty Slides co-host.
Is Andy Laz waiting?
He is. He's in the waiting room.
Okay,
but he's
great.
But he's also a Giants fan. So
correct. Well, that's it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with this Correa, signing, not signing, signing with the Mets situation, how Giants fans are handling it, how Mets fans are handling it, how baseball's handling it in general. And Laz and I wanted to do a sort of emergency slides, but Laz is leaving for France. I go to France apparently tomorrow, and I just said I'm not sure I'm going to be able to squeeze it in today because we have this show. Then I've got to head to a comedy show in San Diego tonight. If you're in San Diego, come see me at the Madhouse Comedy Club. If you're in the Palm Springs area, I just got added to a show at Agua Caliente in Palm Springs tomorrow night. So I'll be doing the Agua Caliente comedy show tomorrow night, Friday the 23rd. And like I said, San Diego tonight. So I said, I'm not sure we have an emergency slides. What if Andy Laz slides in to the Dirty Sports?
Well, he's sitting there. Let's bring him on.
Okay.
Talk a little baseball, little signing by your boys, stealing from his boys, and we can get this all figured out because I didn't really understand it as far as the medical stuff.
To be honest, I don't understand it, and I want to talk it out with Laz and get his take. So here he is joining us from the Laz.
What's up, boys?
What's going on, Laz?
How are you, Ruther?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
I like your setup these days. What do we got going on there? We got a little.
What's up?
Is this your workout television behind you?
That is my Peloton that I never get on TV. Behind me is TD's Michael Jordan Washington Bullets jersey that I had to pawn from him when he was having some money troubles. And behind that is something my brother gave to me. I don't know if you guys remember the scene in Police Academy where the dick recruits get tricked by Mahoney into going to the gay bar.
The Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster Cafe. That's
good call.
And behind that is Ricky Henderson, the Man of Steel.
I have a and I just framed it and put it on the wall. I have a game worn Cal Ripken jersey that I just put on the wall, and I'm sure there will be a time where I come a call and be like, "Hey, Laz, you want to pawn this from me?" I'm also in money trouble.
The keeper of all my friends' treasures.
I'm curious about that. So he played. They weren't the Wizards when Jordan, or was that? Just
they were the Wizards. They were the Wizards, and they did like a throwback night where they wore the old Bullets jerseys, and I guess they only made like 100 of these Jordan Bullets jerseys.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan fans everywhere right now are screaming at their podcast thing, saying, not only did Michael Jordan not play for the Bullets, he didn't play for the Wizards. What are you guys talking about? He only played 6 seasons in the NBA, and he took 2 seasons off in the middle. He would have won 8 straight in his only 8 straight years in the league. He won every scoring title. He's the GOAT of all time. This is nonsense and only conspiracy that he played on a team that didn't win a championship.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Correct.
So let's hop into this this Carlos Correa signing, because I don't understand what happened if he was going
Carlos
sign.
Here we'll catch you.
Here's something you'll understand, Ruther. We are now the Cincinnati Reds. Giants ownership.
No, you're not.
Giants ownership said, where are they going to go? That's what they said.
To be honest,
Correa? We'll get him for you. You know what? Season ticket sales didn't spike. We're getting out.
To be honest, signing Mitch Haniger and just Mitch Haniger as your free agent moves is pretty Cincinnati Reds of you.
It's pretty Cincinnati. He feels like an ex-Red.
He feels like a future Red.
Yeah, for sure.
So take me, as we all know, I'm knee deep in my NFL everything. So take me, who doesn't follow closely.
I'm going to take you through it. So first of all, Andy, there's a sport called baseball.
Okay.
Men play it with gloves, leather mitts, if you will.
Okay.
So there was, free agency is still happening. Most of the big free agents have gone to somewhere.
Are you going to start with Arson Judge?
Arson Judge, right? Arson Judge, which is Bizarro World Aaron Judge. He was a player that was signed by the San Francisco Giants for, I believe,
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yes,
he was with the San Francisco Giants, and then that free agent signing was disappeared into thin air. And
there was a tweet that said the Giants signed Arson Judge. 7 minutes later, the guy did the tweet, John Heyman said, "Oops, so sorry, not true."
I saw that. I did see that. I did see the John Heyman.
Okay. So that was December 7th, December 15th. So we've been cock teased, the Giants fans.
Twice.
I never thought we were going to get Aaron Judge. I thought that was pie in the sky ridiculousness. Why would you go from being the king of New York to being the king of a town full of sevens with poop on the ground? Like, I get it. Right. But Carlos Correa, December 15th.
By the way, hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, I should let you keep going, but not a town full of sevens. A town that maxes out at sevens. It's
right.
Sorry, it's certainly not full.
No, it's
full
not
of
full
sevens.
Of sevens.
Would be
it's
great.
Not full of anything except poop on the ground right now. Right. Yeah. Max out. Exactly.
Just the people and by people, I mean the ladies in San Francisco just taking stray bullets. Like stray bullets.
I've talked about it at length that the selection of women in San Francisco is when you used to go to your local Blockbuster and the last thing before the counter was a weird like basket of tapes. And they were like, "Do you want Broken Arrow with Howie Long on VHS for sale?" And you go, "I didn't come here to buy videotapes that no one wants."
It's a great movie reference right there.
Are you sure?
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. So past the
Right.
clientele we have of women in San Francisco. So basically, like, did they actually think they were going to sign him, or was this all just
Carlos
No,
Correa,
they had signed him,
it's
and then
a done deal.
It was a done deal.
13 years, $350 million.
Right.
Agreed in terms.
In principle.
I'll show up to your facilities in a few days, put on my jersey, sign my contract, take my physicals, be a San Francisco Giant.
Exactly. Then 2 hours before the unveiling of the Carlos Correa jersey, the Welcome to San Francisco Carlos Correa press conference, it's postponed because of some medical issue. 12 hours later, or midnight that night, he is signed with the New York Mets for 12 years, $315 million.
So here's my question.
The Giants got cold feet.
Here's my question. Here's my question for you, Laz.
Yes.
Do you believe that, okay, was it there was a medical issue. 2, the Giants got cold feet about how much money and how many years they had offered Carlos Correa. 3, Carlos Correa got cold feet about joining the San Francisco Giants and, was like, you know what? In second thought, I'll take a little bit less money and I'll go play with my boy Francisco Lindor in New York on the team that is currently being run by fucking,
Captain Fun Zone.
Yeah. The Willy Wonka of baseball players.
I think all 3 things could be true. I think the Giants found a medical thing, but I heard this medical thing wasn't his back. It wasn't anything that had to do with anything that happened in the big leagues. It happened some high school medical thing.
Yeah, so an ankle injury.
Don't tell me you didn't know about this before you did your research on. You had all fucking offseason to do your research on Carlos Correa and do his medicals, right? Then you sign the guy. Then you're like, oh, wait. One doctor said in 2014 he hurt his ankle fucking playing pickup hoops in high school. And now it takes you have another 6 days to figure this out, right? And then after they postponed the press conference, they had 12 hours to figure it out. They didn't. And then they issued a 2-sentence statement like, hey, we had a disagreement on the medical thing. Good luck, Carlos. So I don't blame Carlos Correa one bit.
And then apparently Scott Boras texted Steve Cohen, who was in Hawaii on vacation, asked him what he was doing. He said he's in Hawaii on vacation having a martini. And he said, do you perhaps have 3 olives? Correa miss for a new third baseman. Correa miss has arrived.
Is that the true, or are you just fucking around?
No, that's the truth.
I saw that on Bleacher Report. So
okay.
Yeah.
He apparently texted Steve Cohen, Correa miss has arrived.
Yeah.
And do you have 3 olives, meaning $300 million?
Yeah.
And
Steve Cohen's like, I sure do.
And Steve Cohen, who started this offseason with being fearful about giving perhaps the best pitcher of his franchise 5 years because of medical concerns, got caught in a moment of drunken martini drinking in Hawaii and is suddenly handing out 12-year deals to guys who may or may not have medical concerns. Because at this point, here's my thing with Steve Cohen. And this is what, we all watched The Last Dance. And Laz is sitting in front of his Michael Jordan Bullets jersey. It seems as though
it's there for safekeeping.
Steve Cohen seems to have the Michael Jordan quality of randomly picking a person that will have wronged him and then going on some sort of revenge tour. Michael Jordan famously, in The Last Dance would be like, this guy looked at me wrong in an April game against the Washington Bullets. So I scored 45 on him and then sent a FedEx package full of human shit to his wife's home. And you're like, but why? But why would you do this? And Steve Cohen, we're now in year 2 of Steve Cohen. Apparently last year, Steven Matz signed a deal with the St. Louis Cardinals. And this is what started Steve Cohen's revenge offseason. I'm going to get Max Scherzer and Starling Marte and all these people. And then this year, even though he had all this year to extend Jacob DeGrom didn't get an extension during the year, signed a deal with the Texas Rangers, and Steve Cohen was like, oh, I had 9 months to sign him, but I didn't, and he got a deal somewhere else. So now I'm going to light the whole world on fire and sign literally everybody down to Danny Mendick. And I love it.
Yeah, but he also just got extremely lucky that the Giants are so, the biggest pussies in the world. But isn't that whatever medical condition this was, the Twins were going to sign him for 10 years. The Mets signed him for 12. So it can't be that concerning to everybody else who works in baseball. you know?
Well, but isn't it like, is he worth that? Like take me through. I know nobody's worth the contracts. We always thought, like, in general, right? We talk about this in all sports. Like, for the most part, most guys aren't worth what they like. Is he worth how many good years is the goal on a contract like that?
Well, so
is it 5 or 6? Like, what's the goal?
I think that there's two. I think there's two things with the Correa contract, but there's also something, and part of it is something that is happening in baseball all around, which at this point we've mocked it. I mean, Andy, both Andys, I'm referencing you both. We've all mocked this, going back to, the Bryce Harper deal, going back to the Machado deal. Like, these contracts that are going to take guys into their early 40s is insane. Like, there's only one LeBron James. There's only one Tom Brady. You're probably not going to be the guy. There's probably not going to be the 10 top free agents in baseball who are all going to be productive into their early 40s to the tune of however many $1 million. Now, there's a couple things with that. One, I think this is just the state of, like, Bryce Harper's contract is no longer ridiculous, because now everybody's just saying, if you want a guy for 7 years, you have to give him 12.
Okay.
And then also, especially with what Steve Cohen is doing, which is becoming the Joker, and literally lighting money on fire, he is now to the point where he's like, baseball is changing in that the idea of giving someone 350 million, like 13 years from now, the Carlos Correa of 2035 will be getting a $2 billion contract, because there is no salary cap in baseball. They will probably institute one sometime in the next thing, because Steve Cohen is ruining lives. But at this point, the money's not even real, because the average baseball salary in 10 years is going to be $50 million average. Everybody's going to be getting $50 million. You get $50 million. You get $50 million. Danny Mendick will be getting $8 million in 5 years.
Also, the universal DH makes, signing a shortstop to a 10-year deal a little more palatable, because if he's a good enough hitter, he could still be useful as a hitter. And like Joe said, in 10 years, you might be paying $27 million for a fucking part-time player like a DH. Because Carlos Correa's deal, average annual value is only $27 million.
Oh, okay. So then it makes me wonder, is this, take baseball out of it, right? If I hear all that, I'm just from a purely financial side, like, is this sustainable financially? Is the question.
It is for Steve Cohen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But, like, I'm saying overall for the brand,
Steve Cohen laughs at the fact that people are concerned that his payroll is $400 million.
But like, I'm sure you guys see.
Minnesota Twins offered him 10 years at $287 million.
Sure.
Minnesota Twins.
And that's one guy. But like when I was, of course we all like see what people say underneath the signing, and I was reading like the tweets, and it was like, and I know we've talked about this on our show, Joe. It's like, you like take football, right? Or even basketball. I saw somebody wrote a great tweet. They're like, dude, basketball is competitive across big cities, small cities. Football is competitive. Like, this is a major issue. Like, the Milwaukee Bucks can win a title. The Kansas City Chiefs can, these are small markets, quote unquote. Like, and this is baseball. My point is that sustainable is all I'm saying.
Well, I think it's sustainable in regards to these guys. They're not losing money,
Yeah, they wouldn't be doing this unless
Steve.
For sure. I get that. What I'm saying is, like, for the league overall.
No, it's not. But, and this is if you think you've ever seen Joey No Chill on the Dirty Sports podcast, wait until the day where they made me live for 45 years dealing with Yankees fans with no cap on how much they could spend, and 2 years into the Mets being like, we're gonna buy everybody, institute salary cap. If you think you've seen an angry Joe Praino, wait until the day where, after 4 decades of demanding a salary cap in baseball, They institute one to stop my team from absolutely shitting, hissing, and ejaculating on all the baseball teams financially. I will.
Have you heard Yankee fans bitch about the Mets spending already? Right?
Yeah. It's already
Isn't that hilarious.
It's already, you always accused us of buying championships, which you did. And now you guys are buying championships. Yeah. If you can't beat them, join them. All the petitions, all the letters. I think the first letter I wrote to fucking A. Bartlett Giamatti about needing a salary cap was in crayon. I think 6-year-old Joe Praino was like, Mom, Dad, where are the Major League Baseball offices? The financials of baseball do not make sense, and we need a salary cap. And they were like, you need to go to fucking second grade.
Well, I mean, look, and the tweet, I'm sure everybody's seen it, like the tweet that Jeff Passan sent out. The Mets have spent $106 million this offseason in signings. Dude, $106 million. So your current payroll is estimated to be around 384.
You're saying 106 million per year?
No, overall.
Well, they've signed two guys they signed
no, like that includes the max deals. These guys, like Correa's 315, Nimmo's 162. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, my point is, because it's guaranteed, right? It's not the NFL.
Right.
Right.
So the Mets have given $806 million.
806 million. Correct.
Yeah. What did I say?
106.
I'm sorry.
Which I was like,
sorry. Yeah. 806 million. So you guys are going to be.
I'll drink to that.
Awesome.
But the reason I bring that up is this. Then this is what's crazy. The current Mets payroll is estimated to be around 384 million for the upcoming season.
Plus taxes.
That's
plus
what I'm
the
about
Steve Cohen tax.
So the luxury tax will exceed 111 million. So the projected payroll for the Mets this upcoming season is 495 million.
I've been waiting to say this, and I've been waiting to say it in Andy Lazarus's presence for 3 years. Sorry for troubles.
But here's the last one, which is crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Who gives a shit? I think.
But you guys as baseball guys should give a shit, because this is why the sport's dying. Like this, I'm just saying this. This is one of the main reasons. I don't think this
is why the sport's dying, though. Because
I think it's one of the. I think it's one of the reasons baseball's dying.
One of the reasons baseball is dying is because small market teams can't compete.
Correct.
Well,
is Houston? What's Houston? What's Seattle? What's Tampa Bay? What's Milwaukee?
It doesn't mean
playoffs.
It doesn't mean there's not outliers. But my point is, if you look,
but I mean, all those teams made the playoffs.
Sure, but if you
here's why baseball's dying. I'll tell you precisely.
I think there's
why
a lot of reasons,
but the reason goes back to exactly what I've talked about on this show, and I just had this conversation again yesterday. Baseball owners. First of all, Steve Cohen doesn't give a fuck who comes to his ballpark and how much they spend.
Sure.
He is a fucking Bond villain. He's a Bond villain. He has all the money. All he wants is to rule the world. He doesn't care if it costs him money. Where baseball, well, first of all, the number one reason baseball is dying is because not enough owners have the attitude of Steve Cohen, which is, I am a fan of this team and I want to win. So the second reason baseball is dying is because every owner in baseball is trying to figure out how to take a father and his two sons to the ballpark and butt rape them to the tune of $1,500 or $2,000 for the day. They want your parking money. They want your beer money. They want your fucking foam finger money. They want your hot dog money. They want it all. They want to take you for $1,500 once a year and just have that dad go home and be like, man, I may as well have taken him to fucking Disneyland. And what they should do is get that dad to the ballpark 10 times a year for $200.
I agree.
And make $500 more dollars on that guy than they did the day they took $1,500 from him. But the problem is if they did that, if they focused on getting fans to the ballpark, what they would do is they would grow their fan base. They would keep the ballpark full, and then people would want to come play everywhere. They wouldn't be like, why am I going to go play in New York when Cincinnati? I like Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio. I want to go play there. And their stadium's full too. And then they would make more money, and then they would have more money to spend on players. But instead, they try to get that guy there for one game for $1,500. And unfortunately, the Cincinnati Reds are out of contention in mid-April. And if they haven't gotten there in the first 2 weeks, then the dad goes, fuck it. I'll take him to fucking whatever the weird fucking amusement park you go to is.
Kings Island.
Kings Island. He's like, fuck it. Why am I going to take him to a game in June that doesn't matter when I could just take him to Kings Island and we could go fucking Banana Land?
Is the Beast still operational?
Oh, Kings it Island? Is. They upgraded it too.
They did? Is it still wood?
It's still the longest.
Not only is the Beast operational, oldest. I think he's thinking about signing more players. We're talking about Steve Cohen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still the longest wooden roller coaster in the world. Yeah. Quick little dork Kings Island stat for you. But back to what we're saying. Like
you know what else is the longest wooden thing in the world? My Mets boner after all of these signings.
Well, here's one more stat. Here's one more stat on all that stuff. To just put everything in context, what we're talking about. The previous max payroll in baseball was $350 million.
And
the Mets are projected 495. The argument is like they're almost 150 over. And look, and I agree. By the way, I'm not dissing. Like I'm all for it. Like I think all sports.
I am not all for it. Let me just say that. There absolutely should be a salary cap in baseball.
No. I think there'd be a salary cap. I'm saying I'm all for owners like him who say, I want to win, I'll spend. I don't care regardless of the sport.
And I think sure, I think even almost
absolutely. That's what Joe Lacob does.
Almost more important than a salary cap, there should be a salary floor.
Yeah, 100% agree. And therein lies the problem, I think.
But I think
go ahead, Lass.
The real crux of the issue is that what you're saying about the fan experience. Baseball isn't dying in the way that like it's losing money. It's not losing money. They make most of their money from their billion-dollar TV contracts, and they also have revenue sharing, which allows teams to claim small market poorness. Be like, well, because they're gonna make money off the Yankees and the Dodgers and whatever. But the fan experience, like you're saying, they don't even make their money from that's their walking around day-to-day money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Steve Cohen is now just Joe Pesci in fucking Goodfellas, and the Cincinnati Reds come over. He's the fucking valet guy at the Copacabana, and he gives them $100. Go get yourself something nice.
Yeah.
Go get yourself something nice.
Battle.
Take your fucking bitch out next weekend. Get the fuck out of my face.
So like if they would just say, okay, we make most of our money from our billion-dollar TV deals, and calm down on the parking and the beer and the fucking garlic fries and the whole shit, and let it be more of an affordable, fun experience, it wouldn't be dying with fans, because it's not dying with the money they're making.
I agree. No, for sure, and it's such an easy fix.
Yeah. It's
and that's across all sports, to be fair. Like that's a problem in basketball, football. Like it doesn't matter. Like these
basketball and football, football at least they have 8 home games.
Sure. For sure.
Have 81 home games.
No, I know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know.
And honestly, think about it this way. If let's say you have you own 2 teams, and your goal as the owner of a football team is, I have 8 home games. I want to focus on getting my fans each out, the whole Cincinnati metro area or San Francisco metro area or New York metro area. I want to focus on getting the fans of my team to 1 football game a year. That's 12% of our home games. Get your fans to 12% of your fucking baseball home games. Get your fans to fucking 10 home games.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Except for this year for the Giants, don't go to any home games. They disrespect you. They take you for granted. Don't fucking buy garlic fries. Tell them to go.
Wow. It's like, is this the Andy and Andy show here about how they feel about going to games?
This is, here's like, I respected your deal with the Browns. I totally respected, like, F these Mike Browns and family.
He's
but
back though. You know that, right?
I know he's back, but I never bought that you were actually going to the Rams. I never bought it for one bit. Now, if you said I'm doing a trial separation with the Bengals because they don't respect me and my fandom, I would have believed that, because I think that's what you did.
Well,
correct?
Yeah, well, I
little
think people are sick of hearing about whatever my fandom is at this point. But as far as like the Red situation, and I think I've made it clear, it's like, I mean, that was the biggest call out I've ever heard of any ownership, of like straight up like just mocking an entire city. Like,
yeah. Where you
know,
go?
Where are you going to go is like one of the
Yeah.
all-time. I saw somebody tweet at the time, and it was a great tweet. They were like, they're going to be teaching this in business courses of what not to say. This isn't a sports issue. This is like a business issue.
Yeah.
This is not how you don't demean your fan base of any brand. But
Well, I feel that that's what the Giants are doing to us with this.
And that's how you feel.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, let me say something, because there's a lot of fans that don't really know what to do right now. And it's like, we can't compete. And there is a portion of Major League Baseball fans that are looking at Steve Cohen as if he is the new George Steinbrenner, and that we are the evil empire, and we are the new villains, and we are the new whatever. And this is what I'm going to say to those fans, and specifically to both of you guys, which is George Steinbrenner and the Yankees and the Red Sox. They were the kids in middle school who had hit their growth spurt early, and they were shoving kids in lockers for far too long, and everybody was like, the evil empire. And you're 100% right. A kid who walks around fucking, he hit his growth spurt early and he's bullying all the fucking sixth graders because he's built like a freshman, is a piece of trash. But it went on long enough. This kid refused to leave fucking middle school. He's like, leave me back. I'm fucking sticking around. And baseball was like, what do we do? They finally let fucking Steve Cohen in the door. And he's like, listen, if we're going to act like this, if we're just not going to have a salary cap and we're not going to fucking do it, he's now Billy Madison going back to school at 26. And now you're all in big, big trouble.
Big trouble.
So here's the thing. How should baseball fans handle this? You guys, both of you, and all of you fans out there who are like, the Cincinnati Reds don't care about me. The Oakland Athletics don't care about me. The fucking Pirates don't care about me. Be Mets fans. We welcome you. It's a great time to get on the bandwagon. Be Mets fans. Who's your favorite player? Joey Votto? Fine. Steve Cohen will sign him. Is it going to make Andy Ruther happy? We'll take Joey Votto. Who's your favorite player, lads? You want Ricky Henderson to come back to baseball? Fine. He can sit on the bench with Danny Mendick and get $1 million a year to be on the roster. You're all Mets fans now. Come on board. He's Luke Skywalker here to take the fucking head off the evil empire.
Well,
I'm not doing that, but hey, Ruther, you guys signed Will Myers, so that's something.
Well,
he doesn't wear batting gloves.
Here's my thing on the Reds. Like, I don't even know how you, like, when I see the local paper here, I'll be like, oh, Reds Fest. And I don't know why, like, I just get depressed of thinking, like, who's going to Reds Fest this year? Like who, I don't know. I just don't know how you can go, because there still hasn't been an apology. My thing is,
what's amazing is that, like, you were like, I'm done with the bank. Like, Mike Brown was like, listen, indoor practice facilities are expensive. And you're like, I'm out, you piece of shit. And the Reds guy was like, hey, fans, suck my cock. And you're like, listen, I might not go to games this year. We'll see how they are in fucking April of next year. Like, I can't believe all the Bengals fans that turned on them, and the Reds fans. Like, Reds fans, you guys should straight up be.
No,
like,
there's no Reds fans.
It should be pitchforks.
That's what I'm saying. There's no Reds fans, man. Like, it's just not a thing. Like after last year,
I think that you guys should like show up to Reds Fest with like photoshops of Steve Cohen butt fucking your owner.
Yeah, that would make Reds Fest fun.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Well, look, Praino, we do have a big, large show to get through here today. Laz, where are you going to do in France?
I'm going to Marseille, basically.
I have no clue where that is.
Little town outside Marseille, south of France.
I'm sure it's nice. It's a lovely country. I'm sure you've been to France, right?
I have been.
Praino, you been there?
I have, but I haven't been in a very, very long time.
Me too. Well, safe travels.
Thanks, fellas.
And
Laz,
congratulations on Carlos Correa, Joe.
And one more thing on Carlos Correa, because Andy asked the question, is Carlos Correa is a 25 home run, 70 fucking RBI guy. Like, yeah, is he worth the money we gave him? Absolutely not. Also, money is not real.
Also, he's the hitter you guys needed.
Yeah,
you needed one more hitter, and you got him.
Andy, you said something. Andy Ruther, you said something on Twitter. You said you owe Steve Cohen an apology.
You do.
To which I will say, money isn't real. Of course, Carlos Correa isn't worth that money, and of course, giving Carlos Correa $315 million, even though there's some questionable physical fucking condition, is absurd. But Steve Cohen is absurd. My issue with Steve Cohen was, why didn't you do this for the fucking 2-time Cy Young winner? He also has medical concerns. His money is also not real. What the fuck are we talking about? So, where we drew our line. But the reason is apparently, Steve Cohen has the weird Michael Jordan gene where every fucking offseason he's going to pretend he's not making any moves, let one guy on his roster sign elsewhere, and then be like, I'll show you, you motherfucker. And it's like, you could have just signed him. You can just, but okay, cool. If this is your weird motivation, I'm here for it. You're a Bond villain, and Bond villains are always up to they always have some sort of weird beef with somebody. That's the reason that they're trying to blow up the entire Eastern Seaboard.
So is DeGrom Horace Grant in this scenario?
Yeah.
Or BJ Armstrong?
Yeah. No, DeGrom is the weird. Remember, DeGrom's the guy in The Last Dance that said, like, good game, Mike. And Mike was like, and I took that fucking personally. He was like, oh, he complimented you. Good game, Mike. And he's like, I'm gonna was fucking
the weird security guard that he played quarters with.
Yeah.
With the curly hair.
Yeah. And now Steve Cohen was like, I'm gonna get every player in baseball, and you're gonna have to eat at fucking the IKEA in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because there are no fucking restaurants that aren't fucking IKEAs.
Unbelievable. All right, well, let's get through this, Praino. I got a winter storm that's about to hit. I just want to say,
I want to say to all the Dirty Slides fans out there, if you're not all caught up on the Dirty Slides podcast, go listen to that after you're done with this Dirty Sports podcast. And when Laz comes back from France, we will do another free agent.
Yeah, and I'm looking for new teams. It's not going to be the Mets. It's not going to be the Reds.
Seems silly not to be the Mets.
No, it's too easy to go to the Mets. That's like following your ex-girlfriend around. I mean, that's terrible.
Savannah Bananas, gotcha.
Oh yeah, for sure. Love the Savannah Bananas. Maybe I'm a Blue Jays fan. Maybe I'm a Brewers fan this year.
I just want to say that
maybe I'll follow Bochy and be a Ranger fan.
I want to say one last thing, and this will be what I think you should go off on, Laz, because it's the ultimate baseball comment. But George Steinbrenner had a plan, and then Steve Cohen took that plan and he did it on steroids, and some would say that was a leap, that the gap between those two. And I will say there was a bridge owner, and Andy Laz owning the Venice Gays is honestly the bridge. I've never, until Steve Cohen, no one spent money more recklessly on their baseball team, even 1,000%. George Steinbrenner.
This is why I'm not against Steve Cohen. This is why I'm anti-Reds and I'm anti-Giants for being cheap. If I could spend more money on my adult league team than you do on your major league team, you're a fucking bum.
No one in the Venice Gays League pays their players except Andy Lazarus, who pays all of his players. I pay all of my players.
No matter if you stink.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Laz.
Appreciate it, guys.
Andy, take a deep breath.
I mean,
and then start talking about football for 1 hour and 45 minutes.
You were just squeezing that baseball time out. You're like, and one more thing, and one more thing, and one more thing. It's all right. I'll let you have your little day.
I really tried to convince Andy Lazarus. I'm going to continue to try. If you guys listen to the Dirty Slides podcast, I'm going to continue to try to make Andy Lazarus realize why he should truly be a Mets fan. Because then Dirty Slides, I mean, it's named after the dirty slide that took out Ruben Tejada's leg. I want it to be a Mets podcast. It will be a Mets podcast. I'm going to convince Andy Lazarus to be a Mets fan. Watch. I'll have him buying a fucking Starling Marte jersey by All-Star break.
Well, good luck with that, because I don't think it's going to happen. And he'll come back. I mean, most of us come back. It's like it's the circle of sports. It's like the circle of life, right? He's not gonna stay down a Giants fan for that long. And they're a big market. They'll figure it out. Football. Can we talk about a little football now?
I mean, listen, if you're a San Francisco Giants fan and you're down right now,
you got the Niners.
You just got to remember Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Irrelevant is the most relevant. Has anybody ever gone from irrelevant to more relevant than Brock Purdy?
Dude, he looks like he's 15.
He's Purdy boy.
Right? Like, I don't know, man. It's going to be, I'm excited for the playoffs to kind of see how that plays out. I sent you, speaking of crazy NFL stuff, I got to find the text I sent you in Randy Ruther. Where is it? The one about Kirk Cousins. Do you have that offhand?
I don't even know which one you're talking about.
It was from a fan on Twitter, and he sent the wildest take of all time. God, I have too many fucking texts.
Andy and Randy.
Oh, here it is.
Andy.
Here it is.
Okay.
I
got it.
I got it too.
Got it. Okay.
This is one of the best tweets ever. This is somebody being dead serious. This is not a troll. These are Bengals fans going back and forth with. This was all started from a PFF tweet. So Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus tweets that Burrow has a 91.8 passer rating, which is the best over the last 2 years amongst all quarterbacks. So he's first. So then this whole debate goes into whatever, back and forth. And somebody says, trade Burrow for Kirk Cousins and a few first rounds. Your team will not get worse. It might improve. So again, Burrow for Cousins and then some first rounders to actually upgrade the Bengals. Might be the worst tweet I've ever seen as far as sports takes.
To which I will reply, and this is why baseball, the conversation we just had, it correlates not at all to football, because Carlos Correa's money is not real. But that is a ludicrous theory. But what is a real theory that has been put into practice, and we can see how it works, is trade Kirk Cousins for Case Keenum and $30 more million in cap space, and your team will improve. In fact, when you did the opposite, it did not improve. It got worse. It got worse. Trade Case Keenum for Kirk Cousins and $30 million less in cap space, and your team will literally get worse.
Sure.
The difference between Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, is they will make your team better to the point where you actually are worth paying them the absurd money that ruins your fucking cap. And
Correct.
Figure it out after.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs offense this year is literally number one in everything. Points per game, yards per attempt, yards per run, yards, all the fucking things. I saw a tweet yesterday, 10 fucking offensive tweets. Tyreek Hill's gone. The Tua was almost not going to have a career till he get Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill leaves, Patrick Mahomes, still the best offense. There are elite quarterbacks. There are great quarterbacks.
Hey, by the way,
before.
Let me hop in here on that. Here's something even crazier. I just pulled it up. The Chiefs not only have the most points per game this year, as of right now, season's almost over. They're 0.2 of a point higher. So last year they averaged 29.4 points a game. This year they're averaging 29.6 points a game. They're actually higher by a small number, but still.
When the Vikings have that moment where they say Justin Jefferson is elite with a capital E, a capital I, a capital L, a capital E, a capital L, a capital I, a capital T, and another capital E. We need to pay him. Where are we going to get this money? Just know that that's the team that you have. You need to pay that guy. Because if Kirk Cousins doesn't have his elite receiver, he trash. Joe Burrow, when you got to make that decision about Jamar Chase, you could let him go if you wanted to. You could. You shouldn't, but you could.
Well, again, they're going to have to. T. Higgins probably won't get to stay. I know you're hearing this, and I gotta laugh about this. I haven't ever said this on air. Randy was like looking to make another bet with me, and this wouldn't be a bet I'd make because he's like, well, what if we make a bet that T. Higgins takes less money to stay on the Bengals because he wants? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he will. Like, who knows? But like, that's not a bet I want to make. Because, like, you know, he's living in that world because I don't think he would. I don't think most guys are going to take less in the NFL
or anywhere.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Right. He should have been a Pro Bowler for the record. I think he should have been one, but not that it matters. The Pro Bowl to me is such a sham, for the record. I know they announced the Pro Bowl. But you know what my and your Pro Bowl of beers is?
The Pro Bowl, it's the MVP,
Hall of Fame.
I wish, honestly, can we speak to our good friends at Miller Lite, which we were obviously alluding to, about getting me a Miller Lite gold jacket? I feel like I should be a Miller Lite Hall of Famer. Let's go. A Hall of Fame beer, a Hall of Fame beer drinker. You know, they have these Luke Combs. And they have that rapper, the guy collab. How about a Joe Praino collab? How about Miller Lite gold jacket collabs?
Well, I'm rocking the Miller Lite ugly Christmas sweater. You're rocking
the long sleeve tie dye t-shirt, the Miller Lite long sleeve tie dye, all available at MillerLite.com, shop.com. What's the website, Andy?
Shop.millerlite.com.
Shop.millerlite.com. And, you know, we talked about it yesterday. I'm just going to put it out there, Andy. I went for a brief look at the shop.millerlite.com. They got a classic gray hoodie. I'm just going to need that. I'm going to need that Miller Lite gray hoodie.
Well, the good news is we have a romper coming our way. Each of us.
Hell yeah.
I put in the order for both of us. So that should be arriving here in the next week or two. So go check that out at shop.millerlite.com. Guys, Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Not even 100. Under that, 96. Go to millerlite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. So you can give the gift of Miller time this holiday season. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. I thought of Randy Ruther today when I was
one more thing on the Miller
for
Lite,
it.
because it's that time of year, and I've talked about it before. We've had dirt balls that have always fulfilled my requests. Hey, it's summer. Send me you at a baseball game with your Miller Lite. Hey, it's spring. Send me you on hitting the golf course now that the golf courses are back open with your Miller Lite. But I just went last night. I'm out here in the desert. I just went last night. I bought some Miller Lights. Got me a 12-pack of bottles just for having around the Christmas tree, just for having to be drinking by an open fire. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, and Joe Praino was drinking a Miller Lite, sitting right there. Like, send me your Miller Lights with your trees, with your stockings, with your gifts, with your fires. Send it to Daddy on all the social media platforms.
Yeah, what I was gonna say when I was in Kroger today, they got those big Miller Lite Bengals sections, and those cases of beer say "Houday" on them, and they have a tiger. And I just kept picturing Randy Ruther when he flies into town. Like I can picture him framing a case or doing something wild in his Bengals lair, whatever he has going on. An unopened case of Miller Lite.
Oh man, there's gonna be in our 4 seats at that Bengals Bills game, me, Randy, Andy, Jedediah. We're gonna make Andy Ruther hold the Gold Star Chili, because us 3 who are drinking, we're gonna have 2 Miller Lights each.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be a wild game. Looking forward to it. And I've already had a fair amount of dirt balls reach out to me for the tailgate.
Hell yeah.
We have some people coming in town, and I think a lot of people are also obviously turned because it's gonna be such an important game. So that should be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that.
There's all this talk about Bills Mafia, then this talk about the Tiger Town or wherever, the Welcome to the Jungle, all the things you're doing. What about us just Miller Lite stands? Can I just get a cold bath of Miller Lite? Can somebody just make a table out of empty Miller Lite cans for me to dive through? I've got no rooting interest in this game other than 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Let's go.
Well, they do have a Miller Lite Houday deck at the stadium. So there's an actual deck at the stadium.
Excited. You know what? I'm rooting for, as far as I can tell, I've never been to the stadium in Buffalo, but I don't think that they have a, Bills Mafia deck for Miller Lite deck. So that's it. That's all I need to know. There's a Houday deck. I'm rooting for the Bengals, baby. Randy Ruther, bring me a TJ Hushmanzada jersey and sew a Miller Lite patch on it. Has anybody with the last name Miller or Light played for the Bengals?
They've had Millers. I know they have.
Did Todd Light, former Notre Dame defensive back, play for the
Good
Bengals?
reference right there. Well, the NFL's sitting pretty financially right now. Big news today. Big news that I'm excited about as a YouTube TV guy. Big news announced this morning in the Wall Street Journal. The NFL has agreed to a roughly $2 billion a year deal for NFL Sunday Ticket. $2 billion a year.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. $2 billion seems like a steal. I'm surprised Steve Cohen didn't just buy it and make everybody watch SNY.
Yeah. So if you do the math on that, I think I did it earlier. I think it's like $2 billion a year. Where is it? I think I wrote it down somewhere. So basically, each team now makes like over 60 million a year just off that one deal. So now the NFL has over 100 billion in TV rights out there. 100 billion. What I like about this is
How long is the deal? $2 billion a year for how many years?
it doesn't say. Let me see. I'm sure it does actually. It runs around the same time all the other deals run out. 7 years.
Okay.
I actually don't think that's that bad, to be honest.
Oh, it's incredibly not that bad.
Like for 7 years.
Yeah.
Getting locked in at that rate.
$2 billion. The Mets payroll will be more than $2 billion in 7 years.
What I like is they're just going to do an add-on, which is great. So that's what they do for I think 15 or 25 bucks a month for MLB. If you have YouTube TV, you can just watch all the games. And I'm sure they're going to do the same sort of setup. Yeah, for $25 a month last year, YouTube TV gave a package. You could watch all regular season games for 25 bucks a month, which I actually think is pretty fair.
Yeah. And I already appreciate whichever DirtBall shares their password with me. It'll probably just be my brother. That's why I currently have the Sunday ticket app. So shout out to Mikey. Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, I'm big team YouTube TV. You know, I've had it for like 4 years.
The only thing with YouTube TV, the only thing about this is, you know, I currently watch Sunday Ticket via streaming. I watch it on a Roku streaming app. Is like with the streaming, the delay between live and streaming is just keeps getting wider.
Yeah, there is a delay.
I mean, Randy Ruther texted me.
He's got to stop texting. Yeah.
He texted me, 45 seconds before the Kayvon Thibodeau, strip sack touchdown happened in my house. Like, yeah, let's go. I was like, oh God, what happens here? I was assuming it was something good.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a delay, which is I've seen now with betting being so prominent and also legal in most places. Like they got to figure out I saw some things about that. Like, dude, you got to figure out a lag. Somebody could place a bet. Dude, if there's enough of a bet, somebody could place a bet. If there's a 30-second lag.
Yeah.
I think they'll figure it out. But I think it's a good deal all the way around. And I'd like to officially announce the death of DirecTV.
Oh, yeah. Bye forever. That's the end.
Like, that's done. So they're losing $500 million a year as is.
Right. Yeah, they're done. I've said this before about DirecTV, but the Sunday Ticket to DirecTV is Howard Stern to satellite radio.
Correct.
Like, the day he's gone, they're just gonna be like, welcome back to terrestrial radio and Spotify and the podcast app. We are no longer a company.
Sure. 100%.
But the idea, I mean, we're now at the point where all this stuff is happening digitally and all this, and there are people solely for the sake of football, solely just for football, who are like, oh shit, it's raining. We better get up on the roof and figure out our satellite situation. Satellites? What is this? A Dave Matthews Band song? Get the fuck out of here.
My brother, I guess he canceled it in the last few months. And he said, you can't, and this doesn't surprise me. Because when I had issues with Sunday Ticket, it was the same thing. He goes, you can't cancel DirecTV online. Like, that's not an option. You have to call them.
And what I assume, by the way, this is how so many companies run these days. You can't cancel online. You have to call them. Also, we don't have people who answer the phones. So congratulations, you have DirecTV forever, unless you're willing to cancel your credit card.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I'm glad. This is a good move. I was hoping either that or like Apple.
I would have preferred. I would have for sure preferred Apple, but like this is fine.
Yeah, this will be a good move. And Goodell said they're trying to tap into the younger generation, which is mostly, I think that's the YouTube TV generation. But dude, there's people who still hold out, man, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners. I was kind of getting into it with a couple of my buddies today about that.
About what?
Like, I was like, "Oh, you guys are on cable?" I was like, "Welcome to 2022, man."
Yeah.
Like, And here's the thing where like cable has such a disadvantage. If you have, let's say, Spectrum, they charge you for whatever feature if you want to pause something and rewind it. Like that's not a thing on YouTube TV. Oh, you want to rewind something? You want to pause something?
I had YouTube TV for a bit. I don't any longer, but I had it for a bit. Unlimited DVR.
Yeah, because it's all in the cloud, unlimited.
Yeah. So I would just be like, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch this shit ever, but I'm just like, I would just be like, yeah, like I never watch late night shows anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Like I was obviously a Letterman stan back in the day, but I was like, fuck it, you know, record Kimmel and who's the dude? I literally don't even know his name. The dude on CBS these days, Stephen Colbert. I was like, just record that every night, just because maybe they have a guest I want to see. Not that I will literally ever watch them. Just thousands of hours of Jimmy Kimmel in my YouTube TV DVR.
Well, that's what I have right now.
Never watched
for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
There was a 60. I wanted to see. There's been two things I wanted to see. There was some recent thing on like, I was interested on this thing about what social media does to your brain, and then there was a Deion Sanders interview, and I looked. Those have somehow happened in the last year. I was like, oh, I have every 60 minutes since last year. Cool, whatever.
And Andy's got 60 minutes going back to Andy Rooney still being on. He's like, the problem with this new Twitter is it's just not enough characters. 140 characters. What am I supposed? There's more characters than I even need.
You got a call about social media. I'm gonna play it right now.
Great, can't wait.
Somebody called you about social media. This is from.
I can't wait.
This is from last week.
Okay.
What up, boys? It's Tyler, Arizona DirtBall, and
What's up, Tyler?
The official cousin of Randy Ruther. I'm currently scrolling through Instagram, and I see Praino going on a rant right now against social media, currently trashing Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. I think there's only one social media left for Joe to try
Correct.
out. That's the official social media of a certain former president, Truth Social.
Oh my God.
I'm not on Truth Social, nor do I know anybody on Truth. So I think it's up to Praino to give one last go for social media. Give us a full review of Truth, Joe. Let's see how you like it. See if Trump's onto something here, or if it's just as trash as the rest of them. Condoms are and will forever be for Cliff Kingsbury and Cardinals general manager Steve Keim.
Like I forget that there's a Truth Social.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've never seen it, or I've seen screenshots. It's just Twitter, but it's, first of all, the fact that he called it Truth is the funniest thing ever. Like there is a thing out there that basically just diehard Trump people are on. I think I lost Praino. Dude, you brought up Truth Social. Praino's gone. He's just stuck. He's pixelated. He seems a little back.
I can hear you. You hear me?
Kind of, but you're really pixelated.
Yeah, the Tyler call, it paused, and then all of a sudden it happened in fast forwards. I heard,
so I can hear you now, but the picture is awful.
Well, that's because I paused my camera because I took my shirt off. I'm flexing at the idea of getting on Truth Social. I'm shirtless doing the Macho Man Randy Savage. No, yeah. I mean, I went on a rant because
tell me about this rant. I didn't see that.
Well, it's just essentially that literally all the social media platforms I mean, first of all, let me just say this. The despicable state of
we're losing you again. I want to hear this.
Is that
I'm losing you.
you let me know when I'm back.
Okay. You do.
Back. Am I back?
You might be.
Am I back, Andy?
The picture is just. See.
Well, fuck the picture. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit for YouTube? Can you hear me?
I can hear you right now.
Okay. And I'm coming in clear because this is all, let's be honest, it's all for the listeners anyway.
You are, and then it just will cut out at times. Okay, I feel like we're better now.
Damn it.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Andy. You ask me a question and I'll answer it. So I know that we're all together here.
What I was gonna say is I think, yeah, there's major problems with all socials now. And I think just from look, I'm just a dude, right? So what do I know? I think
but you're the king of all social media. Can you do something about this?
I think all of them have just, let's take the last 10 years. All of them have tried too hard to just mess with whatever it is, content moderation to algorithm to, TikTok becomes a thing. So then Instagram says, oh, all we care about is videos. So we're only going to push videos now. We don't care about pictures. And then people are like, yo, but I went on Instagram for pictures. And then, each thing has like, just stick with what you were good at. Like that's my piece of advice.
The bottom line and what I was saying before I cut out is despicable place these days where your social media following is essentially all that matters. You could be somebody with absolutely no act, with absolutely no ability to perform in front of a crowd, with absolutely none of the comedy chops that I have, cultivated over 20 years of doing stand-up comedy. If, you shit in your blender and you drink it and you have 2 million followers, you can now go on a stand-up comedy tour. So it's the most horrible of all professions. My advice to anybody thinking about doing stand-up comedy is absolutely don't. It's turned into a cesspool where it's the only profession where people do it because they got famous doing something else and they can't do that anymore. They're like, I used to be a wrestler, so now I'll do stand-up. I used to be on Entourage, so now I'll do stand-up. I used to be on fucking Saved by the Bell, so now I guess I do stand-up. It's horrible. But the bottom line is I wouldn't be on any social media at all. I avoided Facebook for 10 years after everybody I know is on Facebook. I wouldn't be on social media at all if it weren't for the fact that you need a social media following to exist in stand-up comedy today. But each and every one of the platforms, whether it be, Elon Musk currently, dive bombing Twitter, or, TikTok's algorithm and people being able to essentially throttle your viewership if they don't like what you're saying, and Instagram essentially being a TikTok knockoff. Do you hate TikTok but just want to see things from TikTok from 2 weeks ago? Join Instagram. Do you want to hear your mom ranting about how, January 6th was definitely done by Antifa? Join Facebook. It's like they're all just cesspools of nonsense, and I wouldn't be on any of them. And there was just last week, I was simultaneously being, simultaneously essentially under attack by each social media at once. And I was just like, I've had enough of all this. And I just want everybody to know I wouldn't be on any of them if I fucking didn't have to be.
Well, look, the
also follow me at Joe Praino on all social media except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life.
I mean, the science behind, like, it doesn't lie. Like I don't care what anybody wants to say. Every single study, dude, it says it does more harm than good. But it sucks because literally dirty sports doesn't exist without social media. Like I don't have a living without social media. So I get it. So it's like it just sucks because, like I said, overall, it doesn't benefit your mental health or anyone's.
Horrific for your mental health.
It's horrific. And there's just, I always tell people you got to learn how to take it in doses. And like one of my brothers got off Facebook. He was never on the other ones. He talks about that. He's like, dude, you know how much my life improved? He got off like 2 years ago. He's like, I just got off, just ended Facebook. And he talks about that. He's like, dude, it literally made my life better. And he wasn't one of those always on it, but he was sick of the same stuff we always see on those apps. And it's just, I think people feel, and we've all been there, like we can't get off them at times, but I don't know, man. I've said this and I've debated this forever. if we look at the overall, like there's good things that can happen from these things, but I would say it's overall done more harm than good.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And I mean, I think the thing is with, Facebook, like I just don't even go on it. But, and maybe I should, because at least that's people I somewhat supposedly am supposed to kind of know. I've never been on any sort of Facebook group ever, or Facebook fan page or anything. I've never been on Facebook and seen strangers talking about things. But unfortunately on TikTok and on Twitter and on Instagram, you post these things because you want to get, more followers, whether it be for your business or your stand-up comedy career or whatever. And it's just the people that like I really, the sad thing about your boy, and I'm going to call him your boy, Elon Musk, is like, it was the when he came in and he was like, I'm going to change verification. It was right there. It was just like we complain about, Major League Baseball. Like the answer was so obvious. Verify real people and try to get faceless trolls off of Twitter. That it was so obvious. Instead of, you can be a faceless troll, just give me $8 for it. And the answer is, we need to do something about, there's so much poison that's put out. I mean, go on any story about Carlos Correa. There are faceless Braves fan underneath calling the Mets a poverty franchise. The Mets could be called a lot of things, but it's not poverty. It's not a poverty franchise. You guys can't afford to keep Dansby Swanson. If the Cubs hadn't swooped in, we would have fucking taken him just to show you we don't give a fuck about you or our money. It's like the fact that people exist just to say shit that's factually fucking absurd.
Like that, to me, that doesn't bother me. Like if I would do a lot of things completely different than Elon Musk. Like I am to the point, and then we'll get to the NFL. Like I'm to the point, like I would literally not censor anything. And I know that's not a popular take. I would censor nothing. People want to make false claims, say offensive stuff, have at it. Pornography,
right.
have at it.
I'm actually of the same opinion you are, Andy. You want to say the N-word? Say the N-word. Also put your name on it. Verify with your license. Oh, you want to spew hate anonymously. Oh, no. That's not me. You want to put porn on your Twitter? Cool. Let your school where you teach know that you're doing it.
And I'm
for that.
I'm fine with that too. I think the
problem is Twitter is full of people that want to say the N-word and hide from it.
Well, I think a lot of those places are, and I just think, like, at the end of the day, especially when it comes to like it's ironic. It's the irony is Trump starting something called Truth Social. Obviously, that's the irony. It's been the irony since day one. It's like this guy's going to start something called any politician starting anything called Truth Social.
And everybody who went over to Truth Social was somebody whose name on Twitter was John3594278, which I can guarantee you is not on their birth certificate. You're not even truthful with who you fucking are.
Yeah, with an American flag in the bio. But
yeah, and wraparound sunglasses in your avatar.
But I just, like, I don't know. Like, people think that's like, I don't know. What bothers me is whether it's YouTube or Twitter or like, as far as the truth thing. And I'm on this hill. I've been on this hill for years. And then we can move on. Like, dude, let people say what they want to say. Why is it anyone's job to tell me what is and isn't true? And I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But I just don't think it's anyone's job. If you want to watch YouTube videos all day long about something and believe that the earth is flat, dude, that's your prerogative. Cool. I don't really care. They should allow those videos, in my opinion. Like who is it hurting? Like, here's my thing on all these companies. At the end of the day, we just talked about YouTubeTV, right? Owned by Google. And we're talking about YouTube, same company. The idea that like YouTube is out there to like benefits us, dude, you guys are making billions of dollars. I just don't think you really care about the overall benefit. That's all I'm saying. I'm calling bullshit, and that's fine. I don't care. What I'm most concerned now about personally is that I'm only up 3 points on you.
Yeah, you should be.
There's 3 weeks left.
How many years have we done? Like,
you've gained 3 points in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Would you say that this is by far the most of all the years we've done it? This is the most typical way it goes. You get out to a start, I close, and then it comes down to the last few weeks, and it's just, am I going to jump you or am I not going to jump you?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Every year.
Yeah. So here we are, Joe.
Here we are.
And it's going to be a fun week because we have most of the games are on Saturday since Christmas is on Sunday. But then you also still have 3 games on Saturday.
On Sunday.
I'm sorry, on Sunday, correct. Then your Monday. I mean, look at the NFL. We're going to hit you with Thursday. We're going to hit you with Saturday. We're going to hit you with Sunday. We're going to hit you with Monday. Classic NFL. So tonight is Jags Jets. The Jags are 1 game out of making the playoffs in their division.
I mean, you talk about I'm only 3 points down. I could be only 2 points down if I had just taken the Jags last week. You know, I literally said, I don't understand it. Make it make sense to me. Because I believed in the Jags. Trevor Lawrence has proved everybody who jumped off his bandwagon early in his rookie year under, Urban Meyer, wrong. He's been incredible, especially in the last month. I think since Thanksgiving, he's been elite. All the scouts who said this is a once in a lifetime, he's got all the intangibles, he's proving it right. Yeah, the Jags are right there. And now the Titans look like they're without Tannehill the rest of the year.
They are. And the Titans lost to the Jags earlier. Or I don't know if they've already played twice. I'm not sure. But
now I'll say this. Let me say this. We'll get back to Jags Jets.
It's gonna be a fun game.
It's going to be a fun game. We'll get back to it. But since I just brought up the Tannehill thing, I was trying to find some clips that I could share with somebody from, about us talking football. And I went back to our preview show. And boy, was I high on Malik Willis coming in and taking over this Titans team at some point during the year. And by God, it made me cringe because of how bad he looked when he did come in for Tannehill. I mean, he looked awful. But here's my chance for redemption. The Malik Willis redemption run. He gets to take over for Tannehill. It looks like all the things that we know are, man, the Jags probably keep surging, and the Malik Willis enters the chat for Titans might be their undoing. But I think I called a Malik Willis upset game in the playoffs. I believe I called that. Said, watch out if you're one of those teams that everybody thinks is going to the Super Bowl, like the Bills. I like a Malik Willis upset game. Ooh, cringy. But is it going to happen?
This is a tough game to pick. To get back to these Jets Jags.
I'm going to let you go first since you just said that, and then we'll start there.
Okay. The Jets are currently 2.5 point favorites. They're at home. We all know the Jets have a good D. They also have Zach Wilson. It's
2.5. It's not 3. It's not 3.5.
To me, this is who do you think's going to win when it's 2.5?
Sure.
Because I think it's a field goal game. I do. Maybe you disagree. I think it's a field goal game. So I'm saying, who's going to win? If the Jags win, they have made that leap, in my opinion. Like if they win on the road Thursday night, it's going to be a mess, not good weather conditions. Then they're like really making that leap. I'm so hung up on Zach Wilson, like in a bad way, that
right.
He's the quarterback.
I mean, the thing with this Thursday night game is obviously, like we always say, I mean, the Jets have a great D. It's going to be a sloppy game. It's always a sloppy game. It's just, can the Jets win sloppy with Zach Wilson? And the Jags aren't going to be as good as the Jags have been the last couple of weeks because it's a short week, because it's bad weather. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it is who's going to win and where the game's being played. And I'm not going to walk you through it, so I'm going to have to let you pick your own.
So the Jets have lost 4 of their last 5. Conversely, the Jags have won 3 of their last 4. And the Jags are putting up points. In those 3 wins, the Lions loss was an outlier. But in those 3 wins, 28, 36, and 40 points. You know what I'm saying? So, they're putting up points. But like you said, I don't think it's going to happen against this D. This is a kind of a coin flip for me. God, I don't want to pick the Jets, but I just, a road game. I'm going to pick the Jets, even though I don't want to. This is my thought process. As much as I hate Zach Wilson, I just think I think he's a great defensive coach. I just think he'll be able to keep them in check.
Honestly, I think it's a coin flip game as well. I don't hate that pick of the Jets. The thing for me is last week the Cowboys Jags game seemed such an obvious Jags pick, and I said that's precisely why I'm going with the Cowboys, because when I feel too strong about something, sometimes it flips me the whole other way. I can see the Jags winning this game, but it certainly isn't how I felt about the Cowboys game. Like, oh, it's so obvious. Yeah. But to me, it's as simple as I honestly think that this game is going to be short week. It's going to be so sloppy. And then you have Zach Wilson. I could see the Jets putting up 3 points or 6 points or 10 points. I'm going to go with Jags to straight up win the game.
Wow. Yeah, I could too. I really could. So I just pulled up Prize Picks. Here is a play that I would like tonight. Trevor Lawrence, more or less 11.5 rushing yards. I know he's battling a toe injury. I'm going to say more.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you saw, I hit on Monday. I know you did. I hit on the field goals. I hit on the Aaron Jones touchdown. I've hit on my last 2 that I've posted. So I like that. If you haven't downloaded Prize Picks, download that today, guys. Play daily fantasy sports with us. Make sure you use promo code DIRTY when you sign up on the Prize Pick app. Once again, all first-time users that deposit and use promo DIRTY will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. God, do I hate this pick. I really hate this pick. And I'm going to hate if I lose a point off the bat and go right back to only up 2. I don't know why I picked the Jags. Or I mean the Jets.
You picked the Jets.
I don't know why. Because I just again, it's not that, it just keep thinking of Zach Wilson. Anyway, I can't will it under pressure. Let's move on. Bills, Bears.
When you go first and I want you to go a certain way, I do everything I can to shove you in that direction without making it too obvious and then making you back off. And I feel like that one was played to perfection. If you're a dirty sports fan, if you're a longtime dirty sports fan, you really, thrive or enjoy the dynamic just between me and Andy Ruther. Hit 4 times back on your rewind button here and listen to the mental strategy I just played, just ever so casually leading Andy to the Jets. I held his hand. I took him over by the water. I didn't try to make the horse drink. I was just like, oh, this water's delicious. If I was a horse, would drink it.
And I kept saying, I don't like Zach Wilson. This is Zach Wilson. This is Zach Wilson. And I still
I know.
took them.
And what I do in those situations is I like to agree with you because I don't want you to, I go, yeah, I know. It's great. It's like, but if I jump in too hard, then it's like I've talked you into my side. But that was the first. I mean, we're 1-for-1 on fucking the mental games. And guess what? You'll probably hit on the Jets tonight and it'll all work out for you.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Bills, Bears in Chicago. The Bills are 8-point favorites.
Well, I'll tell you what. I rode the Bears last week. I thought that it was a perfect situation for an Eagles team for me to gain a point on an Eagles team that has burned me consistently. I said, yeah. Saw it 2 weeks ago.
You got
Eagles
a bullshit late. Dude,
that
that was a bullshit late touchdown.
You love to see it. I saw it 2 weeks ago. I picked up a point on you picking the Eagles to smoke my Giants. And then I picked up another point on you saying next week they'll come back in a game that means far less to them than a division game. And they'll let the Bears hang around. And the other thing, well, we'll talk about that when we talk about the Eagles later on. But to me, this is the difference between the Bills and the Chiefs and the Bengals and the teams that are competitive from the NFC. The Bills ain't fucking around with the Bills are it's a 2-touchdown Bills over Bears. I think they win. I think they cover. It was 9 for the Eagles. It's 8 for the Bills. I love this Bills team in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
Hate that it's in Chicago on the shitty Chicago field and all that, but I'm going to take the Bills.
No, I agree for those reasons as well. It's
not the time of year. It's not the time of year for Super Bowl contenders to let the Bears hang around.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we're both going to go with the Bills. Okay, Saints Browns. This is in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson is 2-1 as a starter. Hasn't played well though, but Browns D looked tough last week. I think they gave up 3 points. Browns are 3-point favorites at home against the Saints. I just think the Browns D is too good. I just think that Dalton or whoever's playing quarterback, Taysom Hill, not Jameis Winston. They're just not able to score enough points. I'm gonna go Browns win and cover.
I think this game will be right there. I think this game will be right around a 3-point game. But again, unless we're talking about 3.5 or 4 points, to me, obviously 3 is that actual, Mendoza line. We're not talking about this 2.5-point Jets game. We're not talking about the 3.5. 3 is that line, but 3 is where you ceiling out on who's winning this game. If it's 3 or less, I'm really looking at who's winning this game. And to me, I think the Browns are winning this game at home. I just think this NFC South, everybody's like the Saints are within a game, the Falcons are within a game. It's like I've already penciled the Bucs into the playoffs. As bad as the Bucs have been, it's just like I just don't see any of these teams figuring it out to overtake them.
I agree. All right, we're both going to take the Browns there. We just talked about your boy, Malik Willis. He's getting the start at home, and he's a favorite against the 1-12 Texans.
And what is the spread on this game?
3 points. It's a tough one.
Let me tell you.
It is.
Guys,
look at the Texans, right?
Let me just tell you exactly what's going to happen here. Okay. I'm going to take the Titans to win and cover because insanely in an NFL preview show, I liked Malik Willis. He came in, he was a disaster. I get burned by the Texans no matter what happens, except for last week. Andy has been riding the Davis Mills train the whole fucking year until last week. So I'm 100% taking the Titans out of just insanity. And now it's just a question of whether or not Andy picks up a game on the Texans or just goes, I'm going to hold the ball and not, because the Texans are probably going to get their second win of the year here, but I'm taking the fucking Titans.
No. See, I'm not. This isn't holding the ball. I was curious what you would take. I was like, regardless of what Joe does, I'm taking it. I think this is what I'm thinking. They're just I'm
kind of fine with you doing this because
they're just going to give Derrick Henry the ball. They're going to say, guys, if we can't, it comes down to this. If we can't beat, Mike Vrabel's probably going to say this to his team, guys, if we can't beat the 1-12-1 Texans, we don't belong in the playoffs. And by beat, we should beat them by more than 3 points, at least 3 points for a push here.
DirtBall, if you want to get more into the mental side of this game, go back 30 seconds and listen to how I kind of overdid it. I knew I was overdoing it. I was trying to talk Andy into the Texans, but I kind of knew I was overdoing it. But also, I was okay if he didn't take the Texans. But he didn't. He didn't bite. He took the fucking.
You're acting like you're Phil Jackson over here with these mental games. All right, so we both play.
But here's the thing: I can only really play mental games when it's my pick first.
True. All right, Seahawks Chiefs. Now the Seahawks are also in a tailspin. Their D is looking terrible. The Chiefs have been a little sus the last couple weeks. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites at home.
At home, okay.
It's a big spread.
It is. It's right there. It's right there as like the line. That's that's tough because it's not that 14-point Chiefs line. It's not that 12-point Chiefs line. It's that 10-point, but it's not, dude. If this was, I'll say this: it was 6.5, I'd be all over the fucking Chiefs. It was 7, I'd be all over the Chiefs. 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're talking about. I don't even know. I'm not. Well, listen, I'm actually going to stop right now and just like let you make a decision.
So this line hasn't moved. This line opened at 10. It's stuck at 10. I haven't had a good feel for the Seahawks picking the spread. By the way, both teams, Joe, awful on the spread this year. Not awful, but not good. Right. Seahawks 6-8. Chiefs are 5-9 against the spread.
I'd love to see how. I bet you the Seahawks were 6. I bet you 5 of their 6 were in the first 7 weeks of the season or something like that.
You're probably right. This is what I think. I thought the Chiefs would turn it around last week. They didn't after giving up all those points to the Broncos the week before. I keep saying, when are they going to turn around? They have to have a game where they just blow somebody out. And I'm going to bank on this game. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't love it, but I think this is a game where they're like, all right, dude, Geno Smith, you can't keep up with us. And his play has really gone down.
I don't think that the Chiefs blow out the Seahawks, and I don't think it's a 3-touchdown game. But the bottom line is 10 is right around where it is. But what's going to make me take the Chiefs is that it's at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And it's in Arrowhead, and it's in late December.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Ya boys. Love this matchup. Travel to Minneapolis to face Kirk Cousins. The Vikings are 4-point favorites. I do have a call I'd like to play for you about Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
What up, guys? This is TK from Minnesota calling. And I just had a question here for Joe regarding the Giants. Hearing you go off, say you wouldn't, I mean, if Daniel Jones will sign up for $18 million a year, that you're all on board for that. But I guess my question here was, what do you do with Saquon? Isn't Saquon due this offseason to get paid? You could franchise tag him, I guess, but you might have to franchise tag Jones. And I think Daboll's a good enough coach where you could really plug any running back in there, even though he's been great this year. I don't know. I know you're big on the cap stuff and don't want to go in the cap hell, and you got to distribute the money. So I was curious to what you thought about Saquon here coming up. Thanks.
So this is a great question, and it's something I've thought about a lot. And I'll say this: I do not think that the Giants should franchise Daniel Jones. I don't think that the move, if you're the Giants, is to have a year where you evaluate Daniel Jones again while making him a top 5 paid quarterback, even if it's just for one season. Because I just think that if what I said and the caller brought up is, to me, the way you handle Daniel Jones is either, if you're Brian Daboll and a GM that he has a great working relationship with, is either you guys decide we move on from Jones right now, or we pay Jones some sort of money that we're okay with being wrong about. And you, like I said, 18, like we have quarterbacks now that are getting in the $40 million range. So give him some money that makes, if, like I said, if you give him 5 years at $18 million, something like that, if you pay Daniel Jones $90 million and you only guarantee whatever it is, whatever amount of that, you only guarantee it, and then you can walk away halfway through that deal. Daniel Jones is also getting generational wealth. You know what I mean? Like, if you guarantee, like, you get for $40 million, you get generational wealth. And obviously, you can go out and you can get probably more money somewhere, but it's like, can you, if you're Daniel Jones? I don't know. So my thing is, I don't think you franchise Daniel Jones. I'm way more okay franchising Saquon Barkley. But also, I think the question is, again, that like the caller said, you could probably win with any running back. But here's what we saw at the end of that game. When Saquon Barkley is healthy, and he was healthy to start the year when the Giants got off to their hot start, and he's been healthy. He was obviously healthier last week. He's a different kind of back. He put that game away last week. He iced that game. He was stuck on the spin move button like he was playing Madden, and he iced that game. So I do think that Saquon Barkley deserves to be paid by the New York Giants, but I think where Daboll and the front office need to make a decision is, you need to approach Saquon Barkley and say, hey, look at what happened to Christian McCaffrey. He's already gone. Look what happened to Todd Gurley. He's out of the league. Look what happened to all these guys. Like, the days of you getting $100 million deal as a running back are over. What are you hoping to do here? You're hoping to get some lump sum from us up front and then have to have us trade you to some contender in 2 years like Christian McCaffrey and eat a bunch of, like, sign up for, like, I think the Giants' strategy with Saquon Barkley needs to be the team that sets the tone for what elite running backs deserve to get paid. Because we lost the plot there with Zeke and Gurley and McCaffrey. And I think the Giants need to come to the table with Saquon Barkley and say, here's the deal. We are going to pay you what elite running back should be paid. But just so you know, it's not $20 million a year anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, not even close. I mean, my theory on paying running backs. I mean, I'll tell you what, Todd Gurley is the poster child, way more than Zeke. Joe, he's 28. Todd Gurley is only 28 years old. He has not played in the NFL since 2020. Like, I know there was some serious injury stuff, and I feel a lot of it was hidden still. But to see what he got paid after he was back-to-back first-team All-Pro, right? So back-to-back years, they're saying he's the best running back in the NFL, 2017, 2018. He hadn't played in the league for 2 years now.
But we went through it. We went through an era of the NFL where everybody's like, we're not paying running backs. We went through that era. Then we came back to, we're going to pay the Gurleys and the Zekes and the McCaffreys. And then everybody was like, see, man, this doesn't work out. Don't pay a running back. And I think that there's a middle ground that the Giants should be the team to explore. We have an elite running back when he's healthy. But it's insane for us to pay you a ton of money. Whether you're good or healthy or not, we can't. the value that we would get by paying some guy a fifth of what you get
Sure.
for half of the production saves us all this. So I think the market's been reset a couple times. We didn't pay running backs, and we paid running backs too much. I think the Giants need to be the team that says, we have an elite running back. We're going to pay you what you're actually worth, but we can't do these deals anymore. But we don't want to be we don't want to be a team that punts on Saquon Barkley because quote unquote running back deals don't work. Why don't you do what you should do?
Because
take your actual value.
But he won't, because his agent's going to say you're worth more.
And then where's he going to go get it?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think teams, you're right. I don't think teams will pay that for a top running back nowadays. So you're up here.
And I know, and by the way, I know there's, we're sort of past the days of saying, oh, go to LA, go to New York, go to Chicago. You can make all that money up in like advertisements and shit like that, because the world is global now, and you could be Baker Mayfield and be making commercials in Cleveland. But I still think that there is, if you're a smart team and you're a smart agent, there is value being the star of the New York Giants over being the star, like, the Cleveland Browns.
Sure. So what do you think here? 4-point faves, Vikings.
So my thought on this game is that, unfortunately, I think that this game is going to go one of two ways. The Giants are going to be in this game to win it, or they're going to come off of a huge divisional win, go to Minnesota and get their ass kicked. It's kind of crazy because the spread could be 3.5, the spread could be 4, the spread could be 5. The spread could go up to basically 6.5, and I'm going to have the same attitude as this. Is like, I just don't know if the Giants can stay within a touchdown. But also I think that they have a chance to win this game. So here's what I'm going to do. It kills me because I think it might end up costing me a point, but I'm going to ride this. Kirk Cousins stinks against the blitz. We blitz more than every team. Let's fucking go. I'll take the Giants to cover.
When we first started this conversation, you said you're taking the Giants?
Yes.
I was going to take the Giants hands down when we first started. I just don't think they can score enough with the Vikings. Even though the Vikings defense is trash. I don't like it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to ride with Captain Kirk and the Vikings to win and cover.
I'll tell you what, a perfect scenario here, by the way, and we've seen it before with the Giants playing the Patriots close in a late season game and then having a chance against them in the Super Bowl. But a perfect scenario here, because I had a friend text me the other day, and he says he's a San Francisco fan, and he said, if the Correa thing happens, well, it was after the Correa thing. He's like, with what happened to the Correa, if the Giants somehow are a 7 seed and beat the San Francisco 49ers as a 2 seed in the first round of the playoffs, he's like, I won't be able to hang out with you for like a year. And what I told him is this: the Giants will get their absolute fucking shit pushed in by the 49ers. The Giants cannot play. The pass rush of the 49ers will decimate the New York Giants.
Yeah, I agree.
The Giants hope, if you want a blueprint for the Giants having a little playoff action, win in Minnesota this week, drop Minnesota to the 3 seed, get yourself locked in at the 6 seed, get Minnesota in the first round, and fucking do it again. The Giants will get murdered by the Niners.
So you're going Giants and I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, and I hate it. But I've also dug a grave with Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to fucking sleep in it. Blitz the fuck out of him.
Giants are 10-4 against the spread this year.
Yeah.
All right, next one I think is
Blitz the fuck out of that anti-vaxxer super church fucking dork.
Next spread is very accurate in my opinion as well. A lot of these spreads, I'm like, this is exactly where I would put it. Bengals, Patriots, It's in New England. Bengals are 3-point favorites. The Bengals are 11-3 against the spread this year. So I'm up first. This is for sure, quote unquote, trap game. I thought last week was too. The thought of like the Patriots under Bill Belichick coming out again. You're like, how many times did they do this? Dude, they're not that team. And I think the Bengals have won in so many different ways. Right? Like they've been up big, they've been down big, they've been in, grinded out games. They've been missing a lot of their key, like they've won in every which way, which I think in the long run helps them. I think the Bengals win by 3. I think the spread is pretty much perfect. With that being said, I'll take the Bengals. I have a good feeling this game might push.
Yeah, I to me, it's again, I know it's in Foxborough, but I mean, we're talking about a Bengals team here that's going into Arrowhead and going into places that are fucking tough to play. The only thing that scares me about this game is how that Patriots game ended. Like such a debacle, and any other team, you'd be like, well, this is going to be a landslide following that. And it's almost like I almost have faith in the Belichick bounce back after such a debacle. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe in it enough. I believe that this Bengals team, I actually think you're concerned about the Bengals team is warranted. Like, I think the Bengals could potentially run the 10. That scares me for Bengals fans. Because
run the table,
you
cut out.
Run the table, and I think that's scary for Bengals fans.
Well, that was my point. I don't think remember.
I know, and I'm saying what I'm saying is I don't normally agree with Andy Ruther on a lot of things, but I don't see the Bengals winning 15 straight games or whatever to win the fucking Super Bowl. So unfortunately, I think the Bengals win out, and I don't know that that's good for them come playoff time. I think the Bengals win and cover.
Yeah, no, it is. It's one of those weird things. If they won out, again, they're 9 games. Now, there's a good chance they could have a number 1 seed. If they won out, at worst, they'd have a number 2 seed, at worst. If they won out. Which isn't a bad spot. You made the great point last episode, which I liked, of saying between the Bengals, Bills, and Chiefs, you don't want to have to face 2 of them. Like, that's going to be tough to get to the Super Bowl. That'll be real tough. So whoever that is, you don't want to have to face the 2 of them. Okay. We're both going to go with the Bengals to cover. Next up, we have Lions, Panthers. I'm going to play a call before we get to that. 310-359-8365. A reminder, that's our hotline. We have a call from diehard Lions fan, the artist formerly known as Fat Jason Kidd. Now I believe we call him Cat Jason Kidd. Meow.
Hey, Joe and Andy, it's Fat Jason Kidd calling in to talk a little bit of Lions. So
wait, did he go back to Fat Jason Kidd? Did he change his identity again? Okay, so I guess he's now Fat Jason Kidd again, no longer Cat Jason Kidd. Okay.
I think it's really been interesting, like the entire time we talk about, like, if we just go like 8-9 or something, it's a ruined season. So I think a lot of what we're forgetting is that we also have that high Rams pick. So the Rams are doing our tanking for us. So realistically, like, even if the Rams pick ends up being 4 and you're going to tell me quarterbacks go 1 and 2, you have the draft ammunition from, like, if you have like 4 and 16 or 4 and 20 to move up and draft at number 2 if you really wanted to, or if that team's willing to trade. So I think that's a little bit of an overrated argument. That being said, I know I told Joe that I'm out on Dan Campbell. I'm not sure that I'm in on Dan Campbell. I'm in on the offensive coordinator. And if that means that we have to bring Dan Campbell back, I guess that's fine. But as far as the quarterback goes, I mean, Jared Goff's going to be fine for another season if you don't see anybody that you like, but you really should be maneuvering yourself to draft your quarterback in the future. So despite what he's shown me, Jared Goff is not it. Actually, I don't like this call. I'll call back and leave another one if I like it. Don't play this one.
No, well,
seems lame.
No, I actually liked your call. I don't think it was lame. I think he made a good point. I didn't realize that.
I think that here's the thing, and I've heard this from a lot of people. No one's saying 8 and 9 and missing the playoffs is an absolute fucking debacle, because and it really isn't tied as much to your draft pick, because yeah, you get that Rams pick, as much as what I think if you're a Lions fan, or if you're a Lions exec, or if you're a Lions GM or whatever, is 9 and 8 and 8 and 9 really aren't that different. And you think, oh, we went 8 and 9, we almost made the playoffs, we're building something. What I think is sad is that at 8 and 9, you're probably tying yourself to Campbell and Goff, but you're not getting the benefit of actually being like, we are a playoff team. And to me, this is just me personally. You Lions fans, I know that you're insane. I know that you're unrealistic. I know that you support, despite the fact that this franchise shits in and around your mouth like it's a fucking litter box. You guys keep coming back. I don't believe, personally, I don't believe Campbell and Goff is the way to build the future of this franchise. But I believe that at 8 and 9, you guys don't get the benefit of making the playoffs, and you believe in them.
Well, I think you're leaning towards Campbell. I can just tell. Cat Jason Kidd with your call. Like, I mean, look, he's got a great personality. He's a caricature, like I've said, which makes him likable. I get it. But you got to think long term. Here's what I'll say about Campbell. If you have a franchise quarterback, maybe he works, right? Because I think when you have a franchise quarterback, it can hide a lot of bad coaching. It just can. To a certain degree.
We're also talking about 8 and 9, 9 and 8, whatever, all these things, right? So right now they're 7 and 7.
They're favorite, and that's what we're about to get to. And you're up first. They're favorite.
Right, but what I'm saying is, to me, this is as an outsider, and here's something. Let me just tackle something I've been accused of. Oh, Praino's bias. Praino's bias about this. Praino's bias about that. Every fucking thing Praino says is about. Dude, I have no reason to hate the fucking Lions. I don't give a shit about your franchise. I don't give a shit about the Vikings. I hate Kirk Cousins because I watch Kirk Cousins with my fucking eyeballs, and I can't believe other people watch Kirk Cousins with their eyeballs and think he's fucking good. What is my bias against Minnesota? I don't give a fuck about Minnesota. I don't give a fuck about Detroit. I don't even think about you. Okay? So there's no bias. To me, as an unbiased watcher of the Detroit Lions franchise, if you don't run the table, go 10 and 7 and make the playoffs, what are we even fucking talking about? Now, if you run the table and you go 10 and 7 and you want to sell me on Goff Campbell, I'm listening. But if you don't, I'm not listening. Then I'm just like, do whatever the fuck you want. You're the Lions. You're going to do it anyway. I look forward to whoever's great on your team retiring in 3 years.
Well, they're 2.5-point favorites in Charlotte against the Panthers. You're up first. What are you taking here? I know who I'm taking.
It's tough, man. So I'm in a pick'em league, and I picked the Panthers to win this game, and then I rethought about it, and I switched it to the Lions to win this game because it's right there. I'm right there. To me, here's what I'm doing. 2.5, I'm taking the Lions. And the reason I'm taking the Lions is I think they win this game. I think that they flounder down the stretch. I just don't think it's this game.
I think they win too, and I think obviously they would cover.
I said last episode, and I'm going to say it again. I think they win this game, they cover. I think they lose. Bears, Packers.
Interesting. All right, we both picked the Lions. Next up, not Vikings. I'm sorry. Ravens at home against the Falcons. Who's starting quarterback for the Falcons this week? The Falcons are 6.5-point underdogs. The Falcons started the year, I believe, 6-0 against the spread. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
They're now 8-6. So now
Yes.
they've gone 2-6 since then.
Correct.
Baltimore is the opposite. They're 8-6 or 6-8 against the spread. Like, this is a tough one because neither team is going to score any points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 6.5. So Lamar's still out.
Yep.
Tyler Huntley's playing. Who's playing for the Falcons?
Desmond Ridder or whoever.
Ridger's still playing.
Yeah.
Okay. I know.
It's not Mariota, right? I think Mariota has left the team.
What are you talking about?
There was some shit about Mariota and his kid, and he walked away, and there was some veiled shot at Mariota by their coach.
Are you serious? How did I miss this?
Yeah.
He
Essentially,
left the team?
like, I mean, he didn't like leave the team, but it said like there was some like not so veiled shot at Mariota, like not choosing not to be there. I know he had a kid and he left for that, but there's like a lot of thing where it was like it was a decision based on play, but also Mariota like didn't take it well, and now was like,
Okay, I'm reading right now. This is from 4 days ago. This is the latest. Though reports have indicated Mariota has gone AWOL on the Falcons, that's not necessarily the case. He's been in touch with the team. He also had a newborn shortly before he was benched, so he's been with his family. Mariota will have knee procedure this week, one that would sideline a player for only 4 to 6 weeks. That was Monday when this came out.
yeah.
Okay, regardless.
You were too caught up in baseball news to catch
Yeah, must have missed that. Regardless, I think Ritter's going to struggle. I just 6.5. I don't know. There's got to be a reason it's 6.5. I still think it's too big. I'm going with the Falcons to cover. I don't like it. It's another one I don't like, but
I agree with you, but I'm going against you. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. To me, like this 9-6 football game.
Yeah, right.
But man, I think we were different on the first couple picks, and then I think other than the Giants pick, which I hate, we've been fucking riding each other. So I'm going on a fade Ruther here, and my hope is it's in Baltimore. Correct.
Correct.
Here's my two things. I actually like your pick, but I'm fading Ruther. And the two justifications is in Baltimore, they need 3 justifications. They need to win these games to stay close until a Lamar Jackson return or not return, and the Bengals and blah, 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 blah. And 3, one team is 8-6 against the spread. One team is 6-8 against the spread, the way these spreads work. And in the end, the idea that both of these teams are 8-7 and 7-8 against the spread, and then in week 16 they're 8-8 against the spread. That's how spreads work. You should be pretty even on both sides. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
All right. Well, let's get through this.
That's a fade Ruther pick.
Okay. We're taking longer than I thought. Can we kind of get through these pretty quicker?
Let's go. Let's bang them out.
Yeah. Commanders, Niners in San Francisco. You're up. San Francisco 7-point favorites.
I'll take the Commanders.
I
love the Niners. I love the Niners. I think the Niners are legit. I think the Niners, with Jalen Hurts being out, are probably the best team in the NFC. Also, I like the Commanders to play this game close. Chase Young is coming back. Brock Purdy.
He is. Young, well, that might change me. I was going to go Niners.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big a deal, but I just think, can Brock Purdy just be great? Just like he's not going to have one game where he doesn't look amazing just to end the year. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Niners.
Commanders.
I'm gonna go with the Niners still.
I hate this pick.
I think the
Well,
Commanders.
we're in disarray now.
Yeah,
My fucking wheels are falling off my picks.
I think the Commanders struggle to score points here. All right, Eagle. Oh, excuse me. God damn. Violent sneeze. All right, Eagles Cowboys. Ooh, didn't know this was happening. Christmas Eve, 4:25 game. It's in Dallas. Cowboys are 5-point favorites.
Because Jalen Hurts is out.
So Hurts is definitely not playing.
Yeah, Hurts is out.
So who's playing?
Your boy, Minshew Mania. Gardner Minshew, straight from the Mike Leach memorial where he was dropping F-bombs. Gardner Minshew is playing. Can I just say this? Like, there's almost no team. Well, there isn't. There's 0 teams in any sport and players even that I root for their injury. So I'm obviously not happy that Jalen Hurts is hurt. But God damn it, can we just stop running our quarterbacks? If you need to run your quarterback to win, you're not a Super Bowl contender. The end. And now the Eagles might not be Super Bowl contenders because they ran their quarterback.
Well, I don't really care about that. All right, I do care. I'm talking looking at the spread. I still think the Eagles cover.
Well,
with
the Eagles
Minshew.
are 5-point dogs, correct?
Yeah, I think they cover.
I think the Eagles win the game.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the game.
Eagles money line, Minshew Mania. I
like
100% agree. I 100% agree. Let me just say this. Bet the Eagles money line. I think they win. Also, and I know the Eagles fans out there who can't wait to bring up Nick Foles for me, you're not winning the Super Bowl with Gardner Minshew. Jalen Hurts will probably be back, but also maybe stop running your quarterback.
Yeah. All right, Sunday night game, celebrating the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. R.I.P. Franco Harris, who passed away this week, right around the time of the anniversary. It's so crazy how those things work out. It's in Pittsburgh. Both teams are 6-8. Raiders, Steelers. Steelers are 2.5-point favorites.
Am I first?
Yes, sir.
This is a tough game because it's west to east. It's a tough game because, I love me some Kenny Pickett.
And look, before we make your pick, there's going to be so much emotion in that stadium.
Yeah.
With him dying and the anniversary.
I'm going to take the Raiders. I think you're right. I feel like the wheels have come off my picks in just like the last 3. But this is a nightmare. I'm so confident.
Yeah, what happened? Like the Raiders are coming off a huge win.
I know.
Is Pickett playing?
Yes, I believe he is.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I don't know what you're doing, man. That was a shocking pick for me.
I honestly don't know what I'm doing either at this point. It all fell apart with the Giants-Vikings pick. It was the beginning of the end.
Watch, you're gonna crush me this week. All right, Sunday. Let's get through these games. Christmas Day. You got a triple header. We're going to start with Packers-Dolphins in Miami. Miami's a 4-point favorite. I'm up first. Packers have looked a little better. They've won back-to-back games. I just don't know that they have the offense. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to change what I was going to do. I'm going to go Packers.
I'm going Packers as well.
I was going to go Fins.
Unlike the Detroit Lions, I think Aaron Rodgers tries to run the table at the end.
Finish strong.
I like actually. Do I think the Packers win this game? No. Do I like the Packers money line value? Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a good money line. I like it. It'd be a killer loss for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 5-1 at home. All right, terrible game for your second game on Christmas Day. Denver at the Rams. Denver's a 2.5-point favorite. You're up first. Interesting spread here.
I've been cashing on not fucking believing in the Broncos basically the whole year. I think I actually picked up a game on them with them last week though in the battle of backups.
You did.
We have another battle of backups. Russell Wilson's not back, correct?
I don't know.
I don't care. I'll take the
Let me
Rams.
look.
Broncos winning road games. Broncos road favorites. Give me the Rams.
He's gonna play.
Okay, even more so. Give me the Rams.
I can't believe the Broncos are 2.5 point favorites.
Get your boy. Get on your boy.
I
It's
almost
your boy.
want to. I
It's your
almost
boy.
want to. You see it in my face. I can't believe they're favorites. I almost want to. Fuck it. It's Christmas Day. How can I not? Broncos country. Let's ride.
Jesus ain't real. Let's ride.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
I'm betting against the Jesus freak on Christmas Day. Let's fucking go.
I hate this. I'm solely doing this because of the history. You know how you're like, I'm solely doing this to go. Like, I'm solely doing this. I would take Rams.
I mean, I don't think it's a terrible pick. I mean,
You
the
don't?
Rams, the Rams have looked terrible. Sean McVay's probably smart enough to start tanking at this point. Probably.
If he wants to coach next year. The thought of Russell Wilson winning a game. Okay. Sunday night, Bucks Cardinals. Ugh. It's in Arizona. Bucks are 7.5 point favorites, Joe. Why is that spread so big?
I don't know.
Well, because they're on their third string quarterback.
Who? The Cardinals?
Yeah.
Why? Who's playing for them? Not Colt McCoy? Oh,
McCoy got hurt last week.
That's right. Who took over for him?
Trace McSorley.
Oh, that's right.
This week, the Cardinals worked out 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, Trace McSorley starting. That's why. Still 7. That half-point hook is tough. What do you think?
Am I up?
Yeah.
I just picked the Rams first.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. Are the Bucks going to beat somebody by 8 points? I guess I'm taking them.
Let's fucking go. Give me Trace McSorley and the Cardinals. The Bucks are a totally different team at home on the road. I can see the fucking Bucks losing this game, but I don't think they lose this game. But I do love the 7.5. Give me the.
Why did I do that? That was reckless. That was blinded by
go.
Brady's good looks right there. That was reckless.
Trace McSorley, handsome man himself.
All right, last up, Chargers Colts. God, the Colts, what a disaster. Monday Night Football. It's in Indy. Chargers are 4.5 point favorites. Colts have a new quarterback, Nick Foles, starting.
Yeah.
Because Matt Ryan leads the NFL in interceptions and fumbles.
I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. All right, those are our picks. And leave us a call. 310-359-8365. We didn't get to your call. I'll try to get to it next week. That's it.
Follow me on all social media at Joe Praino, except for Twitter on Fix Your Life. Come out to a show tonight in San Diego at Madhouse Comedy Club. Come out to a show tomorrow at Agua Caliente, where I'll be last minute edition opening for James Adomian. Follow me at joepraino.com/show or on Instagram so that you can hear about more shows. We got New York after our trip to Cincy. We got Vegas. We got North Carolina Dead Crow Comedy Club, and we've got Sketchfest in San Francisco. Tickets to all those are available already. Get some.
All right. Yeah, we're on social at The Dirty Sports. All of those great social media apps that'll make you mentally stronger, as I said during the show. Okay, guys, that's our show. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy whatever you're celebrating. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great festive holiday weekend. And as always, stay dirty.